circumstances, but I'm doing okay in the electronic music scene, I guess, and just music in general, I think. Yeah, I was just making music in my bedroom. I did a remix for someone, and then a label asked me to, well, they told me I should put my music out, so I did, and just went from there, really. So, yeah, it's a big surprise. I got in touch with Ghostly International, Sam Valenti. He wrote me on MySpace back when everyone was using MySpace. Just said he was interested in what I was doing and wanted to, you know, have a chat about the future and releasing an album or something. Then, you know, he'd be interested. I guess by staring at a boring wall, you get inspired to write music that will take you out of the place you're writing in. So I think I'm kind of guilty of living in my own head, and then you make up your, you know, you use your music to take you away somewhere. So maybe that's it. Yeah, I have met once briefly in a pub, I think, but only like if you drink in the same pub and maybe someone knows someone else. But at the time, I don't think I was really aware of how amazingly talented he was or what he was doing. Like, I'd only heard one album or something. I don't think I have one person in music that I look up to. It's like I usually like certain albums from certain artists. Maybe you don't like their whole output, but there's certain ones they do that really stand out. Tonight seems cool, like it looks amazing, and I've played somewhere that looks similar, but it was also Italy, and so I kind of thinking that maybe is this the new standard? I've played somewhere similar, but it's not this place, so, and it's always different every time, I guess.
Love the space. I mean, it's incredible to play in these kind of old venues. The acoustics are a little bit of an issue, as they are for this interview. Also, it sort of compensates with the atmosphere, you know, of such a historic kind of building thing.
I think it's always good when you have that sort of ancient with the modern, that sort of contrast. Well, I do feel when you see all the murals on the wall and the marble floors, and you sort of think, is this designed for this really? But I'm sure there were some rowdy parties here in the... What was this used for?
It wasn't the German king was held here. It was a prison, I think.
It's a very fancy prison.
It's a lovely prison. We loved being here. I think we're still pretty surprised as well. We started out doing music as a hobby, and it sort of still feels a bit like a hobby, but we do a lot more of it than we used to. We're very lucky, basically. I think in music there's an incredible amount of talent. Most people have a talent if it's allowed space to grow, and we were just incredibly lucky to have the space. I think it's fine. I mean, we don't want to restrict anybody doing whatever they like. I think probably they analyse it more than we do. I mean, we put a lot of time into trying to make it interesting for us, and if it's interesting for us, then we hope that will be interesting for other people.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have some obsessive fans, because they're the sort of, I suppose they're the hardcore and they'll stick with you for quite a while, until you do something they completely disagree with, and then
I don't buy vinyl so much, but I still keep abreast of what's going on. But I actually find more interesting stuff on SoundCloud. 50% on SoundCloud, 50% actually gets released. And so I think, obviously we're working in a new environment now, and anybody can upload music, and so there's a lot of people that are not signed to labels, so they don't get pressed, but they're just as good as the artists that are getting pressed, and I think it's good to try and keep abreast of that also.
We know a fair amount of people who also do music, so we get a lot of stuff free from them, and as you're travelling around, people tend to give you music as well, so you kind of get this random selection that you haven't really picked yourself, and hopefully you actually go back and get to listen to it. And I like that, because it's a bit like when you used to go into a record shop and you'd know someone in the shop and they'd say, here, and they'll give you a random selection. So I've always liked that, and now that's harder to do online. But like everyone else, I've ended up getting a lot of stuff online, really. Just for convenience, and because there's no shops left unless you travel quite a way. I think we keep up with it, but we're not, because we don't DJ that much. We're not sort of like must have the latest release.